Hi, everybody. My name is Suze, and I work with women to help them find their own balance with their inner masculine and feminine energies so that they can have lives that feel really emotionally fulfilling, full of love and connection. So, in today's video, I want to talk about men for a minute. And I love working with women with a feminine core. That is my passion, is really helping feminine energy really flow with women and finding a really comfortable place with feminine energy so that your life just feels really, really good. Okay? But there's a few things about men that I have learned in working with a whole lot of people throughout the years that once I understood these little things about men that I had no idea about, it started shifting everything for me. And I know how it is. I know it's so much easier to blame men, right? And feel like, oh, they're just never going to understand me. And everything is so simple for men. It's so easy to get into that space, right? And just like, it's so much harder for women, and we're so much more complex, and we have so much more emotional stuff going on, and men just don't get it, right? It's really easy to get into that, but it's all a victim mindset. So you can either decide to stay there and keep blaming the men and keep having cycles of being unhappy and not emotionally fulfilled in your life and your relationships. You can do that. That's your free will. Or you can choose to say, I'm going to take responsibility for my life. I'm going to take responsibility in claiming my happiness, in claiming my own emotional fulfillment in my life. I'm going to learn something that maybe I don't know. And you know what? Maybe if I learn something, I can see things differently. I can shift things a little bit and find some emotional fulfillment and happiness in my relationships with men. Your choice. So, for that second scenario of taking responsibility for your own happiness, your own emotional fulfillment, I'm speaking to that woman. And that is my intention with this video. If you're really truly honest with yourself and ready to make changes or see things differently or learn something to try to bring some emotional fulfillment into your life, this is for you. And I'm only going to say one little thing that I learned that I had no idea about men that really radically started shifting how I saw myself. That's the irony. How I saw myself and how I saw relationships with men and men in general. And it creates a lot more respect from men. Okay? For men, sorry. Respect for men. So anyway, this first little thing, not little, thing that I learned about men is that, and I don't think this is even conscious with them, it's like deep inside them as part of being a man. They only expend energy or invest energy into something if they feel it's worth it. And what I mean is they only spend their energy if what is returned energetically to them they feel is worth it. Return on investment kind of a thing going on here. Now, women don't think that way unless you've done some work on yourself and you kind of already know some of these things. And this all falls under the umbrella of self-worth, by the way. Self-worth. I'm not getting into that today because that's like a whole nother thing. But women are more relationally based, feminine women. We have this thing inside us about connection, right? And we're so concerned about our relationships and how other people feel and how we're showing up in our relationships with other people. And that can be great, but it can also completely sabotage us because the vision is constantly outside of us instead of internally. It's always looking at everyone else to make sure everything else is perfect instead of bringing the spotlight on ourselves and what we're doing and how we're feeling. So that relational aspect can be great, but it can also sabotage you. So I have found if you learn to pull your attention more back towards yourself and you recognize your energy from your heart space and you honor the energy from your heart space and you really start carefully considering where you're investing your energy and am I getting a return on this investment? Is what I'm receiving back, is it worth it? Things really start shifting. not only with yourself, like I'm saying, being careful about where you're investing your energy, be careful about what you're doing, be careful about what you're talking about. Talking is an energetic investment. Be careful. But then also, if you look at men, if you understand that about men, you're also going to understand why they do or don't do certain things. And you can understand how they're motivated or inspired. I'm not going to go into that. I was thinking for a minute, do I want to go more into that? I was like, no, not today. I'm very intuitive in these videos that I do. I have a rough idea of where I'm going, and then I'm kind of leave it open to whatever happens. I kind of just want to drop this here, and I know this is a really short video, but let me just recap this. Because like for me, when I figured this out and I really started soaking it in and understanding this at a really core deep level, it started shifting things for me really dramatically, and I needed a minute to sit with it. So think about that. Men already innately inside of themselves have this little barometer of understanding. I have this much energy to work with. And so where I'm going to give of myself into a person, into a situation, into a scenario, I need to make sure it's worth it on the other side. Am I going to get out of this thing what I want? And if I'm not going to bother investing my energy, my time, my speaking, my mind. I'm not even going to bother. Think about how radically changing that would be if you started thinking that way as a woman. I know it has been for me. And that right there is part of the path to self-worth. Obviously, there's many other little bricks that have to be put into that to create this beautiful home of high self-worth as a feminine woman. But that's a really great brick to start plugging in right now. So I hope this video helped. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this has really opened your mind to seeing men and seeing yourself a little bit differently and more powerfully. I hope you all have a gorgeous day. Thank you so much for stopping by. Goodbye.